Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Mixinaz podcast series. I'm your host, Hedvi Shah, and today we're diving into an incredibly relevant and transformative topic, which is digital health and infectious disease control. From tackling tuberculosis to providing early warning signals during viral outbreaks, digital health tools have redefined how we approach public health challenges. And joining us today is someone at the forefront of this revolution, Dr. Aparna Chaudhary. Doctor is not only a seasoned medical doctor with expertise in infectious diseases, but also a public health specialist currently working as an associate program manager at Vadhwani AI. With her extensive experience, including stints at WHO India and contributions to UNDP's National Policy Report, she brings a wealth of knowledge and insight to this conversation today. So, Doctor, it is an honor to have you with us today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Hetvi. Thank you for having me for this session. I hope I'll be able to give some good, feedbacks or some share some experiences with everyone.
Yes, Doctor, we are very sure about that you will. And so, before we start with the main topic today, Doctor, could you share your professional journey and how were you interested in digital health tools and infectious disease?
So I think I will start. After completing my undergraduation, I decided to join my post graduation in community medicine or preventive and social medicine. And with that time, I realized that I have an inclination towards infectious diseases. I wanted to pursue a career in that. But before that, when I went for further studies abroad, there also I understood that how we can make policy and what will be the future that can support infectious diseases. And during that time, COVID happened, so I became a part of a COVID batch. And I really saw how during a pandemic, how technology did help to solve a lot of problems during COVID, where it was very difficult for us in a humanly way possible, in a way that like nobody has seen how technology can help. But I think COVID does give us the opportunity in connecting people, in diagnosis, in screening, all those aspects. It helped, and after that, I think digital health became a larger part. When I came back to India, I joined as a WHO consultant for tuberculosis. And during that time, I did understand there are certain gaps with respect to the screening part and diagnosing part. And when I got the opportunity to join an, another non-profit, which is a booming industry of AI, Vadhwani AI gave me that opportunity to explore those things for community level, which can support the national program. So that is something which was very helpful.
Yes, I think that's a really interesting journey, and it rightly mentioned by you that COVID did teach us a lot of digital aspects also, especially in the healthcare industry.
Yeah.
So now let's start discussing about the digital health and infectious disease. So how digital health technology has changed the way you approach infectious disease diagnosing and monitoring, particularly in radiology practice. And could you share some insights on it as well?
Yeah, so I think how the digital technology or digital health has helped us is uh, we can start with the very basic thing, which is electronic health records or the cloud platforms, where mostly the in global north we have seen that we have the patient's health record completely on a system. How it helps is that if a doctor can get a comprehensive idea of what is the patient health is, the patient history, that way it does help them to make a better diagnosis, make a better I would say prognosis of any disease or what medication people need to be started, so that they are healed with very less medication and in a better way. There is no antimicrobial resistance which we talk about, because they know what is the patient's history. That way I think digital technology has helped us in a slightly better way. It may happens in global north, but not should come to global south Indian scenario or different areas where we need that thing, because that will help. Second thing, I would say technology has helped in connecting rural health systems or rural health facilities to the urban centers, where the eSanjeevani platform, for example, in India is a very good platform where the doctors can be connected, the CHOs, the community workers can connect at the national level, and to get that kind of services to the last mile of the patients. That is something very helpful, how it has helped. Coming to the radiological aspect completely, it's the electronic health records definitely helps to see the X-ray or the CT scans of the patients, but AI has been a very game changer in that aspect when we talk about screening at a ground level. With screening individuals through X-rays or reading CT scans have been very helpful for the radiologist or the physicians who are there at a basic level, or may not be at a basic level, at a tertiary care centers also. That way, it's been very helpful for them to give a diagnosis in a smaller time.
I think the AI is actually proved that it is game changing for healthcare industry also, and it is also fascinating to know that how digital tools are actually integrated into the practice to enhance so many change. So it is truly game changing. So now,
Yes.
doctor, can you walk us through specific cases where tools have helped you make critical early diagnosis of infectious diseases, especially those that might have been tricky to identify with
Yeah.
conventional methods?
So I think COVID is the biggest example. I think I'll come back to tuberculosis and pneumonia later. COVID has been the biggest example. We have seen uh, in COVID, one of the AI technology which was very helpful was the screening tool of AI. That is, EVA is a screening tool for AI, which was used by Greece. They were screening everybody using AI. How it helped us? It was helping segregating people who were symptomatic COVID, asymptomatic COVID, and are do not have COVID at all. It was very helpful for resource optimization. It helped a lot of people that way. In another way, AI was used for doing the disease modeling aspect also. A certain part of disease modeling was used to see how the intervention has been very helpful, or which intervention will help in which way. So that way, again, AI helped. Then, when we talk about the infection disease use in India, we have seen that AI technology in X-rays has been helping into finding early signs of pneumonia of infectious causes, by be it viral or bacterial. For tuberculosis, early lesions for tuberculosis, or early lesion flagging that okay, this person might have some lung pathology which can be infectious. That way, we are sending or catching people in ground who might have infection, who might have disease, and need a early intervention. Again, coming back to why we need all these things is it will help us to provide better treatment to patient in as early as possible. Second thing is help to optimize the resource in better way. And third thing is we are actually saving a lot of human resource and cost, which can be used in other better purposes.
Okay, yeah, I think actually that is really interesting and helpful also, especially sometimes becomes very difficult to actually see what diagnosis, and diagnosis actually makes a plays a major role also in any disease, and especially infectious disease.
Yeah.
And I think it is so interesting to know how clinical expertise have been achieved and these outcomes, especially because a few decades ago we could only dream that it is not really possible, and it has been possible now. So it's really interesting to know. Now let's talk about some outbreaks. So, what digital platforms have you found most effective in sharing real-time treatment outcomes during novel infection outbreaks like COVID-19?
Yeah, so I think there are certain platforms which help in surveillance part. I won't say the outcome, the treatment outcome as such. We have COVID meters kind of thing. Then we had health maps, which was there for finding the areas and where the patients have disease and then they were cured. So those numbers. Then we have WHO health repositories, which provided the actual real-time data on a global scale. Then when we come to India, we have IDSP, the national portal for integrated disease surveillance platform. They give a regular update, which whether there is an outbreak of any disease, not even to the national levels as well as the state level, to keep everybody informed. And then if any issues are happening, to resolve those issues. Then there are many MIS portal which at India level and at global level, which record all the data of the patients who are under notifiable disease, and they keep a track of those patients and share the outcome. That is not available, I would say, on a on an open platform. But there are MIS portal which do give it. Like we have portals for tuberculosis, we have portal for HIV. So these are the portals which are already there existing in the system, but it's a part of health system because they contain patient identifiers, so it becomes a data privacy issue. But yes, it is with the government.
That's really interesting and fascinating. And it's also so wonderful to see how platforms are actually bridging the gap in times of urgency and then there's need also of serving.
Yeah.
Now, Doctor, radiology has always played a pivotal role in healthcare. So, what role do you see radiological data playing in early warning symptoms for infectious diseases outbreaks? And how can digital health tools further enhance this capability?
Okay, so what all the digital tools which has been getting used right now in healthcare system or public health or the AI tools, they are being trained to find certain patterns in the AI in any radiological test which has been done, be it X-ray or be it CT scan. So when they find those patterns, it do help the radio radiologist or the public health professional when they see all the data that if there is any particular pattern which represent any respiratory disease which are very typical for any respiratory disease, which can be either pneumonia, bacterial kind of pneumonia, or a certain kind of viral disease. So that way they can actually see whether there is an increase in number of those cases coming or decrease. So that helps us to give a very vague idea of any outbreak. Once we try to add those data with other digital data, for example, we have socio-demographic patterns or geospatial mapping. They do help us to provide see the heat maps or the real-time for any kind of infection which can be happening in as an outbreak. So that is how we can see how digital tools are helpful in finding the cases or for finding any outbreak.
Okay.
So this is how it has been very helpful.
Yeah. So, what is the future? What does the future look like in like 2 or 3 years from now? How can digital tools help in predict some infectious disease if they can?
So the future looks like I would say ki it would help to find the diseases earlier. I won't say that it would completely help to stop a disease. It will help us to find a disease earlier. For example, we can see there are so many cases where Zika virus was the hotspot of a Zika virus. We were able to find through digital tool only because we could, accumulated all the data from the health records. We accumulated data from the geospatial mapping, did a real-time hotspot mapping, and could find where the interventions need to be given. So that way, we can actually stop any outbreak or pandemic happening in a very small time. And also, it can help us to use the resources in an optimized manner. So in coming years, definitely the way the data from the national portals or the geospatial portals, as well as from the social media handles, are being used to actually find where the disease can be happening. The first disease, which is like first tweet related to any kind of disease happen, and how many people from that area is looking into it and why they're looking into it, and then correlating it that lot of people, lot of general population people have curiosity to search the Google search. That also help, that also adds that these are digital tools which we never thought can be used in health aspect, but they are being helping in health aspect to actually locate and to join the dots which areas can be used.
Yes, that's really interesting, and it's interesting to know we can actually prevent it earlier, only because before it goes out of control. During recent viral outbreaks, how have digital imaging patterns helped in early differentiation from other respiratory conditions?
So, like I mentioned before, there are certain patterns which are very typical for certain diseases. For example, if we can see, we say for COVID, pneumonia caused due to COVID, it has ground ground glass opacities, or they have peripheral lung infiltration. That is something which are very typical to certain kind of pneumonias, which is caused by certain kind of diseases. Similarly, for tuberculosis, we have early signs like pulmonary effusion, which is happening, or the upper lobe or apical lobe of the lung is being involved, or hilar lymphadenopathy. Similarly, we for bacterial pneumonia, we have certain factors like the type of infiltration which has happened, or we have a lot of pneumonia-like features which are concentrated to a certain part of the lung. That way, the typical features of certain diseases help us to find those diseases early as compared to, or help them to differentiate from one disease to another disease. The moment somebody see a ground glass appearance on CT scan, that person will know that this is COVID, pneumonia due to COVID, maybe early pneumonia due to COVID. So they can provide the treatment in that manner. They won't treat that person for the bacterial pneumonia. They will treat that person for viral pneumonia and specifically have a treatment for COVID related pneumonia. So that is how it has helped in differentiating the type of diseases which we have.
I think this differentiation could be a game changer, especially in managing the patient outcomes also. Yeah,
Yeah, so
continue.
it will help in the secondary care hospitals, especially. I'm not saying where we have tertiary care hospital where you have specialists who look after it, but a secondary care hospital, it will definitely help them.
Hmm. So the first kind diagnosis is also again easier, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally, doctor, what advice would you give to healthcare institutions looking to build effective digital health systems for infectious disease control?
For I think effective healthcare system would be starting with having a robust kind of electronic health record system for any hospital. When we talk about how to manage a disease, we need to know what kind of patients we cater, and that we can only get that data from the electronic health record system. That we have it for years to actually see the trends, what kind of disease we have, what kind of demography we are dealing with. That would be a start. Second thing, they need to actually look into the data privacy aspect. Definitely that need to be maintained so that they can use the data in a very religious manner without causing any harm to the patients whose data is being getting used to find any disease or to find any further patterns for any outbreak. Third is collaborating with the similar kind of hospital or other stakeholder, maybe private partners or the government stakeholders who do know how to use that data or do know how to get that data to the last mile to the users, maybe the CHOs or the public health people who can use it in a better way. And I think lastly, have a patient centric or the community centric approach to build something which can be used by the community or which can be helpful for the community, not at the hospital level, but at the community level. So that is how the system should go. And eventually training the workforce. We need to train the workforce to make them understand how the technology is going to be helpful for them and not something which will replace them. So that also need to be told to the workforce, because that is the mindset which comes when we talk about digital health tools coming into picture, that people think that they are there to replace the workforce, not to aid them. So that also need to be done. So all these things need to be done simultaneously by any infrastructure to make it more robust to fight infectious disease.
That's such a practical advice, doctor. Now, as we wrap up today's session, thank you so much for sharing your invaluable insights today. And it's clear that actually digital health tools is not just a tool, but a necessity in infectious disease control.
Thank you so much. I hope I was able to give some insights how it can be helpful.
Yes, definitely. A lot of insights we've gained today. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning into this episode. And remember, if your healthcare professional is eager to delve deeper into medical topics or have questions, do not hesitate to join us on the Medicine Apps platform. Medicine Apps platform is not just a resource, it's a dynamic space where you can connect with your medical peers, participate in meaningful discussions, and contribute to the ongoing evolution of healthcare. So until next time, stay informed and stay healthy.